Hi, everybody. I'm Mary Angela Saavedra. I'm the director of the Center on the Hill, and it is time for another episode of Tell Me Something Good, now with special guests. I am joined today by Rob Batarla. Hi, Rob.
Hi, Mary. How are you?
I'm good. Tell us where you're joining us from.
I am just outside our nation's capital in Arlington, Virginia.
Ooh, all right. What's the weather like in Arlington today?
It is pouring rain and we have a flash flood warning.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened here. Oh, that means that's coming. Oh, good. Good times.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to. Great. Well, for those of you joining us for the first time, a little bit about what we're going to do here. I'm going to ask Rob some questions from a game called Storywise. It's the Common Ground edition. It's 144 thoughtful ways to bond with a fellow human, and I'll pick them at random. We'll share our thoughts on it. At the end, I'll ask you to email us your thoughts and join the conversation. So thanks for watching, everybody. Let's get started. So I'm going to show you the picture. Each card has a fabulous picture on it. Looks like a guy sitting on a mailbox and two older people kind of looking over at him like, what in the world, dude? And this question says, whether you think youth is wasted on the young. That is a tough question because, I mean, I feel like I took full advantage of being young, but I would have liked to have known what I know now then to take better advantage of things when I was young. So I don't know if I'd say it's wasted. Maybe it's unfortunate that we don't learn things until we're older, and then we're like, darn, I wish I knew that when I was younger. And sometimes, I think sometimes what I'm seeing right now, especially in like my son's generation, is that they don't take as many risks as we did in mine. And so then I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you have the energy and the drive and people supporting you right now. So why aren't you taking these risks? And so, I mean, I guess in that way, he's kind of wasting his youth a little bit. But I know that wasn't a straight answer, but I was like, that's kind of what I think on it. What do you think?
So I think I'll come at it from a different angle, which is youth is not just for the young. It's interesting. I was having this conversation with someone just last week that when you look through your eyes, you see things the way you saw them when you were 15 or 20 or 25. And I guess maybe I don't feel any different than I did when I was a youth, except maybe my knees hurt a little more, or I'm a little slower to get off the couch. And so I think we keep that youth inside us if we want to. I think you leave your youth when maybe you don't know what popular music is on, or you start talking about back in my day, which I'm fully guilty of. But I still feel as young as I ever did. And I think as long as we stay young in the mind and we at least treat our bodies with some respect and keep us physically healthy, then the youth isn't ever wasted. It just continues on.
That's an awesome answer. That's great. I hadn't really thought about it that way. I think I'm going to start thinking about it that way. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Let's move on to our next question. Here are these two little cuties sitting there. What are they looking at? Oh, they're like in front of the oven. They're in front of the oven.
Oh, I thought it was a television.
I know, me too. That's why I had to
No,
look.
it's an oven. It's cookies. Yeah. Okay.
They're staring in at the cookies.
Yeah.
And this is for you to start. This question says, an aroma that has special meaning to you.
Well, first I'll start with saying that, of our five senses, it's awesome. Smell is awesome, right? Because it triggers so many things. I mean, something as simple as perfume or grass being cut. Like smells are they just hit you. I'm trying to think if there's one that's sort of like, I would say, and you'll appreciate this too from where we grew up, the smell of the ocean, salt water. Mm-hmm. To me, smells very relaxing, very home. Both Mary and I grew up in Virginia Beach for some time. And anytime I'm back at any ocean, the smell of salt water to me just feels calming, relaxing, and makes me feel like I'm a kid again. I love it.
That's awesome. My memory is tied to the beach too, not a beach smell, but to that time growing up. As Rob mentioned, we both grew up in Virginia Beach, and my grandmother lived there. That's why my family moved there, was to be close to my grandmother. And her house almost always smelled like corned beef hash.
Yeah, yes, it did.
Because that woman loved some corned beef hash. And I lived with her for 2 summers, the summer 98 and the summer 99, between semesters in college. And that was kind of the routine. Every morning I'd wake up and I'd make the corned beef hash and we'd have eggs and sit and have breakfast. And so to this day, I cannot smell corned beef hash anywhere, in a diner, anywhere, without immediately being taken back to her home and remembering that place. And so it definitely has a special meaning. I don't make corned beef hash on my own anymore. Like, it's not great for your, heart and stuff. It's just not a healthy food, and my husband doesn't like it. So I was like, there's no real reason for me to make it on my own, but I will order it sometimes when I'm out. And the smell, definitely. That was grandma's house had that.
Yeah, grandma's place definitely. Yeah, a lot of fond memories at grandma's.
Yeah. So she had a good spot on the ocean, no less. Well, on the bay, but
On the bay. Yeah.
nice. All right, so here's our last question. These looks like it's got a couple people in it. They're at a party, making a toast, doing something.
That looks like that could come from my childhood photo album.
Yeah, the pictures
Right.
in this game are really great. I love them.
Right.
The question says, how old would you feel if you didn't know your actual age? And like, to your point in the first question, I mean, I honestly feel like I felt the same since I was 16, aside from like different parts of my body like hurt now that didn't before. Like, that's new. That didn't ache yesterday. Why is that aching now? Okay. And there's some gray happening up here and stuff. But if I didn't know my actual age, like, yeah, I mean, I still feel very much like the same person I was as a teenager. I might think a little clearer on some things just because life has taught me some lessons. But I would say, so maybe not as young as a teen. I'd say my 20s. I'd say I like, sort of stabilized there in my 20s. And that's really, if you didn't tell me I was having a birthday next week and I was going to be real old, then I wouldn't know. How about you?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I guess there's a lot of different angles. Physically, sometimes I feel as fit as someone who's 21, when I'm at the gym and I'm running on the treadmill and I feel really good. And then there are days where I get out of bed and my knees collapse under me and I feel like I'm 91, right? But I guess if I had to pick my age, and gosh, so this goes back to my first comment, how we see things through our eyes. I don't know where 20x years of my life went. Like, all of a sudden you blink and you're older than you think you are. I still think probably myself in my late 20s, early 30s, and a lot of my friends who I hang out with are of that same age, and so maybe that helps keep me younger. But I guess I don't even think about it really. Like, I just am sort of, I'm who I am. I'm whatever age I need. Probably I'm a different age at work, right? At work, I'm probably more mature and older. When I'm out with my friends, I'm probably younger and dumber. So I think it depends on what mode I'm in. And I'm happy where I am in that I have so many life experiences. And so, like, if you said you want to go back to be 21 again, I would pass on that in a heartbeat,
Yeah.
right? Like we're just so stupid, as you know, as I know. And so I love the life experiences I've had. And like I said, as long as you keep yourself mentally and physically healthy, I think you can be any age you want to be and do whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. That's really great. And that's true. I mean, I think you're right about that, different ages and different scenarios, like, like where I am. Like, I recently, I mean, I think everyone has seen them at some point now, but for a long time I never ever showed any of my tattoos at work. Like, that's just the thing. I'm like, I'm not gonna. And I filmed one of these, I have a trivia game I do for the center, and I was in a summer dress, completely forgetting that all my tattoos are out, and I posted it. And then one of the people who's playing the game, after she sent me her answers, says, "Oh, and by the way, I love your tattoos. I had no idea you had them." And I'm like, "Oh gosh, I never show them at work." And then it's like, "Oh, all right, she liked them." But it's one of those things where I feel like that makes people look at me like I'm younger, because they're like, "Look at you and all these tattoos." And I'm like, those were some mistakes I might have made earlier in my life.
They're not mistakes, they're experiences.
Experiences, exactly.
And you carry them and you learn and you become wiser and smarter.
There you go. Exactly. That's great. Those are all great answers. Well, let me recap for everybody watching at home. Our questions were whether youth is wasted on the young, an aroma that has special meaning to you, and how old you would feel if you didn't know your actual age. Email your thoughts to me at msaavedra@chestnuthillpress.org. That's MSAAVEDRA at chestnuthillpress.org. And join the conversation. Thanks so much, Rob, for joining us today and sharing your thoughts.
Of course, always. Had fun.
Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great day.